When it comes to the immutable laws of physics, it's far easier to not be violent, let alone kill thousands of people, than it is to propel a 4 million pound shuttle out of the Earth's atmosphere at 17,500 miles per hour, or something like that. I'm no rocket scientist. And I'm no foreign policy expert either, which is why I'm trying to understand Putin's invasion of Ukraine. Not to mention the dozens of wars that are currently happening on the planet, such as in Syria, which also involves Putin, Yemen, Myanmar, Chad, the Congo, Niger, not to mention the smaller scale drug wars in Mexico and other parts of Latin America. Amazing, isn't it? We as a species have figured out how to not only put human beings on the moon, but we're getting close to colonizing Mars. And that's on the macro scale. On the micro scale, we've come up with numerous vaccines that have helped immunize us from viruses, diseases, and we've come an extremely long way on battling cancer and even HIV. Yet we can't seem to stop the massacres caused by murderously selfish psychopaths and their inner circles of power. These are small groups of people who usually don't number more than a few dozen, definitely not more than a few thousand. Yet those small groups can be directly responsible for the deaths and suffering of millions. How is it possible that we can defy gravity, break past our Earth's atmosphere and orbit, yet we can't seem to stop genocidal dictators from creating so much avoidable damage? While it's not a simple answer, it's not that complicated either. Sure, there are many moving and unpredictable parts, namely the self-interests of human beings. And the unpredictability of other human beings is a lot harder to control than the math behind the immutable laws of physics and gravity. Those don't seem to change the way people do. And then there's another factor. Not all human beings are created equally. Some of us are tall, some of us are short, some of us are physically attractive, many of us are not. But it seems the main difference in our natural inequalities that can be the biggest contributing factor to all these societal inequalities is that some of us are born much smarter than others. And even among those people who are smarter, some smart people are a lot more driven to be in power. Enough so to kill other people and possibly their own children if absolute power is at stake. Another differing factor is that we're not all born equally courageous, and few are the people who have the courage to stand up to tyrannical thugs, especially when those tyrants have armed themselves with nuclear weapons. That changes everything. But are we going to continue allowing tyrants like Putin to threaten humanity with the specter of nuclear annihilation so he can continue to stay in power by ordering the slaughter of thousands of people, many of whom are his own people? The world does not need World War III, but it doesn't need the Vladimir Putins either. We need to do a much better job of delegating the necessary authority to certain leaders that can ensure human rights and a level playing field in order to keep the stability, peace, and freedom of as many people as possible. And we need to figure out how to do this before we colonize a planet like Mars. Because if we don't, the cycle of tyranny and needless suffering will continue for many more lifetimes to come. And I don't say this as someone who believes in reincarnation. I say this as someone who is aware of the first law of thermodynamics, that matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed, but it changes from one form to another. All the atoms that make up our bodies will continue on to other forms of existence after we die, and will likely become sentient life at one point or another. Must life continue to involve avoidable cruelty at the hands of despotic psychopaths? It doesn't have to, especially since according to the laws of physics, it literally requires less energy and effort to stop killing each other than it is to achieve space travel. But apparently not enough people seem to understand the basic math and science that govern our lives more so than tyrants like Putin. Until more of us do, these massacres and tyrannies will continue no matter how far we travel from our home planet. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And please check out the links down below for original art and merchandise I have for sale. And thanks for watching.